Hi guys. So today I'm gonna do another tag. A couple of weeks ago when you saw me do that Would You Rather tag, I found another one, and this is your favorite characters. And I, I wasn't tagged again. I don't know how tagging on YouTube works, but I saw someone do this. I wanted to try it, um, and I'll also put a link to the creator down in the description. And it's actually by two creators. They both did it together, so I'll put both of them down there. Um, and this is one where you'd get your favorite type of character, um, and the thing is that you're supposed to use. There's 10 questions, and you're supposed to use 10 different books. You're not really supposed to repeat a book, but I sort of broke the rules of that, and there is one that I'll use twice for this. Um, so don't get mad at me or anything like that. But um, it was kind of hard to make some choices and not duplicate them. So you know. So the first question is, who is your favorite kick-ass character? And I'm gonna say Gabe from Forever Friday. Um, he survived an oil explosion, um, and he was so dedicated to his girlfriend who became his wife. And if you don't know the book, it spans about 60 years. Um, it kind of goes back and forth in time of this man who finds these postcards, and back in time it spans like 6 decades, and about this man who's sending his love postcards every single Friday, and you see their relationship and you feel so close to them. And the guy Gabe was so brave and so strong, and to survive an oil explosion like that. I reading that part, I thought, oh my goodness, but he was fine. And if that spoils part of the book for you, I apologize. But I couldn't believe he lived through that, and he was so strong, and I just loved him. So question 2 is, which character do you most dislike? And I'm gonna say Alice from Maine. The woman was a critical, judgmental, alcoholic bitch, and when her daughters needed her, she wasn't there. And oh, she was so mean. I mean, J. Courtney Sullivan, I'm not mad at you. I just didn't like Alice. She didn't show any sign of, like, well, in flashback she sort of came off as a happier woman, but mainly she was just horrible. And I mean, I had a grandmother like that. I can relate. Not for the alcoholic part, but still, that's why I feel a little bit more strong and outspoken about this. But I just couldn't. I just couldn't stand her. I was really hoping she would die at the end of the book. But I'm sorry, but still, that's how I felt. So question 3 is, if you could date any fictional character, who would it be? And I'm going to say Olivia from 7 Days and 7 Nights. If you saw last week when I played that MASH game, and when I would choose who my wife would be, I named her as one of the choices. I mean, she was a sexist radio show host, but you see her change along the way. And I mean, I'm all for, a career in broadcasting. I'd support her on that. I want it myself in some ways. Um, but I could change her if she was like that to me. I'm strong about that. And she was sweet. I liked her actually. She wasn't bad, and I would yeah, I would treat her well, and um, things like that. So question 4 is, if you could change anything about any character, what would that be? Uh, I would I would do something about Angela from I Heart New York. Okay, so I'm gonna uh, reveal a spoiler alert here. But okay, so she's dating Tyler and she's dating Alex, was it? Um, and Tyler was really sweet. He was the successful Wall Street banker and showering her with gifts from Tiffany's and taking her out on expensive dinners. And Alex he was a musician, and I like that, but the guy needed a haircut, at least based on what he was described like in the book. And, he didn't treat her as fancy as Tyler did. And then she chose Alex. I would I would have told her to choose Tyler. He was much better for her, and I, it's just, I mean, I liked the book. I really liked this, but I didn't like how it ended. I'm sorry, Lindsay. I still like you on Facebook and everything, but still, she should have gone for Tyler. I'm sorry that's a spoiler, but again, it was hard to choose it's hard to choose some of these answers, so forgive me. So question 5 is, which character made the wrong choices that you didn't think added anything to the book? And this was actually difficult to answer, but I'm going to say Rachel from Something Borrowed. She has a thing for Dexter in law school, and then he's engaged to her friend Darcy, and so they sleep, Rachel and Dexter sleep together. And had she not done that, the book would have obviously been much shorter, or it would have had a completely different plot. But I still think she really shouldn't have done that, She's Darcy's friend, and yes, Darcy isn't perfect, but, just Rachel really, you know, clearly shouldn't have done that. Although they did have a bit of a night of drinking before they slept together, but still, she really should have confessed to Darcy up front. Okay, question 6 is, which character do you love to hate? I've never really had that love to hate kind of moment, so this wasn't really easy to answer. And the best I could come up with is Althea from A Match Made on Madison. Althea's the book is about this bet that these two people are making, and you kind of, based on the fact that well, okay, so you're kind of expecting her to lose the bet, but she has her conniving ways and things like that. Um, she has those schemes and things like that. Cunning, that's the word I was trying to think of. But and you're kind of expecting her to lose, so you kind of don't want to root for her. But then it kind of turns around on you, and she ends up winning the bet. But you'd have to read the book to know why, because it involved a bachelor in New York, and I guess if you're smart enough, you can kind of put the pieces together. But you kind of were expecting her to lose. She wasn't the villain, but still, she was kind of cunning and sly in some cases. But I still kind of liked her. So question 7 is, favorite sidekick character with the most heart, and I'm going to say Hassan from An Abundance of Catherines. At first, see, it really revolves around Colin. He's the protagonist. But, at first, they go on this road trip, he and his friend Hassan, and Hassan doesn't have so much of a backstory, really, you don't know much about him. He's just Colin's nerdy buddy. But then somewhere after the middle of the book, he just becomes this whole new person. There's just like, this character arc, and he starts lashing out at Colin about the way he dates and about the relationships he's had, and you just don't expect that. You don't see that coming, and that was really cool. How, I thought Sam was going to be like that through the whole book. He's just going to be the nerdy one that we don't really care about. But it's just so fascinating how he just becomes this whole new person. He really, puts his foot down, and like he shares hierarchy with Colin when it comes to the characters, and it's just so interesting how he's done that. And it really showed heart if you read this book, which you should. This is a really funny book. So question 8 is favorite fictional relationship. And this could be any relationship. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, friend to another friend, parent, child. Could be any relationship whatsoever. And I chose Judd and Penny from This Is Where I Leave You. This is the book that I actually chose twice. And I'm sorry, creators, but it was really hard to choose a different characters without duplicating. So I apologize. But Judd, when he's at a low point in his life, Penny's there for him, and she's really sweet and very supportive. I thought it was cute and even, and it was just really nice. I really liked seeing when Penny shows up, and Judd, he's one of my favorite characters, and you'll see why later on. So this is a great read. The movie's coming out next week, and I really am excited for it. So read this book. Okay, question 9 is, which character do you think was the strongest? And this doesn't really specify strong emotionally or really, actually strong. But I chose Finn from Starry Night. Okay, Finn lives in the mountains with barely any electricity in snowy mountains, remind you, and he's taken care of himself, oh god, for many, many years, and it's all by choice. He's fought off animals, and he's made a lot of sacrifices to get where he is, and you don't see those. I mean, that's what we know from the start of his character when you first see him, but still, he was a great character, actually. He kind of can't, it's hard to imagine how he lives the way he lives, and that's what's just made him such a great character, and it's both emotional strength and physical strength. I was kind of going for physical strength for this one, but basically with this question you can take it however you want. I just went for physical strength. It was just so fascinating to see how he survived the way he has for a long time. Okay, the last question, number 10, is favorite protagonist. And you know who I chose is Judd. I can relate to Judd. There was there were paragraphs that explain how he wanted to be a dad so much. He wanted to raise a family. He wanted to have a wife, and that's me. I want to be a family man. I want a wife, and I want kids, and I would love to do all that fatherly stuff. There were paragraphs in here I just felt I connected to so well. Judd he's a great character, and it's really hard to explain. You really have to read this book. It's heartbreaking, but it's also funny, and Judd, it's told from his point of view too, so it's like the way it's told in first person, you're like in his head, and seeing the way he thinks and things like that, and it's just so fascinating how much I'm speechless about it. I can't explain it. It's a great book. You have to read it. The movie's coming out. I'm so excited for it. Jason Bateman will be playing Judd, and it'll seem like a really good role for him. It's really hard to explain. You really have to read the book in order to find out. I'm sorry I can't say much, but basically you'll understand when you read the book, like inside Judd's head, because you see how he thinks and how he acts and how he's treated in cases, and it's the best book I've ever read. So that was the favorite characters book tag. There is a question 11, but that is, who do you tag? And honestly, I'm not gonna tag anyone specifically. I'm just gonna say I tag everyone. If you want to do this, go right ahead. I'll leave the questions right down there, and I'll also leave the link to the creators. Remember, there's two of them. I'm going to leave both of their videos down in the description. Um, and it's I think this tag is a good way to get you to think about all these characters and in different ways, and I kind of like this tag. It was really fun. It was hard to choose though, because you're really not supposed to duplicate questions, or books at least. You're not supposed to duplicate books, but it was really hard to choose, especially for how great This Is Where I Leave You is. It was, so yeah. Oh, one more thing. I know that I have a lot of book-related videos before this, and when I first made Project 52, I thought I'd think of a whole bunch of things, you know? But I see all these book videos every night, and they look cool, and these little games and things like that, and I want to try them, so I think Project 52 is a good way to do that. So I have two things lined up for the next 2 weeks, and they're book related. One's a little bit of a fun game that I saw, and another one will be, let's say it'll be a continuation of a previous video. So I promise I'll think of more activities, more things that aren't just about books, but I just love books so much, you know. I love reading. I do it every single day, you know. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.